First, you need to know what you're actually looking for. A big misconception about building brands on Amazon is that you need to find products and then bring attention to your products. But that is a death sentence. In reality, you need to find attention and bring products to that attention. In short, you're actually not looking for products, you're looking for locations. So when I talk about location on Amazon, this is what it looks like. When you go to Amazon, you want to see this not as a website, but as digital real estate, because that's exactly what it is. You can imagine, if it helps, that every search term is like a street, and all of these slots are plots of land, are real estate. And the most valuable real estate is at the top of the search here, right? So this is a beachfront. Now, before getting too lost in this analogy, you just want to know what locations, so every search term is a location, what locations exist where people are going to this location. So they're searching this up. If I was, a customer, I'm going to the location of yoga mat and I'm not finding the answer, or I'm not finding any good offerings, anything that is solving the problem that I'm trying to solve. So if I went here and there was no yoga mats, or all the yoga mats here were terrible, this would be a prime opportunity for you, okay? So what you would do is then produce a good yoga mat and list it at this location, okay? So for an example, now how do you know how many people are going to this location, right? What you wanna use is a tool called X-Ray, and we'll get more in this into a second, but all you need to do right now is that this right here called search volume. This is monthly, okay? So there's almost 400,000 people. You can see this almost as foot traffic. 400,000 people are showing up here every single month looking to solve their problem. When I say problem, what I mean is that they don't have a yoga mat and they need a yoga mat. That's a problem to them, right? And these here are solutions. So find a place with lots of foot traffic, right? Lots of people searching and not many offerings for them to purchase. An example would be this concealment shelf. So what people are looking for, what they're searching for, are these shelves that hide guns, right? But already on this second row or third row, you're getting regular shelves, right? 1, 2, 3. We're getting regular offerings, which means there's not many offerings for this search, which could mean there's an opportunity for us to produce this product and sell it here. These density cubes would be an example of poor offerings, right? So they're looking for this product. And you can see here, this is the only one that has a nice picture. The rest of them, pretty bad pictures. And this one here is vertical. This is a totally different product, right? So this is an example of poor offering. This is probably the nicest one here, and it's selling for $350. So these are two examples of what a good opportunity location might look like. So where do we start? Well, the first place is at the persona, the person that's going to be buying these products. If we go back to our analogy with the gazelle, you want to know if you're going to serve gazelle, if you're going to serve lions or hippos, because they are going to want different food, right? Different water. So you need to figure that out first before we can start searching for products. Because I used to think that people, if I just made a good product, people would buy it, right? If I just made a good product, but that's not true because good is relative. So here's an example, protein powder. Which product is good? Okay. They're all good for the right person because people don't buy good products. They buy products that are good for them. So we need to find out first who is the for them before we can start looking for what products to serve. And now the fun part and the easy part is that the best place I suggest that you start with your persona is with yourself. So first step, pick 3 categories that you are interested in. Again, this could be very broad. This could be outdoor, right? Kitchen, office. Just pick 3, and that will be your starting point for finding these locations. So let's dive into the technical aspects of finding a product. The first thing you need to do is grab Helium 10. That's the tool that I use to find products and see search volume. Now again, if we're going back to building a well, to find water, this is your shovel. It's just a necessary tool for running and operating this business. Now, just to give you a little bit of confidence, I've been building Amazon brands for over 6 years, and I've used every tool in existence, Jungle Scout, Viral Launch, you name it, okay? And Helium 10 is just the best one. That's why I use them. Now, I am an affiliate, so if you use the link below, you can get 50% off, but I will get a cut, but I don't advertise Helium 10 for money. Other software companies have actually offered me more money to promote their products but Helium 10 is just the best. That's why I stick with them. So when we're looking to find a product, now that we have our category selected, a great tool to start with is Blackbox. Now, quick note, you don't need to start with Blackbox. Some of my best product ideas have come from just going to Walmart, going out to shop, going to Instructables, going to different websites, Etsy, Pinterest, to find ideas. But if you don't have a solid starting point yet, Blackbox is a great launching pad. So Blackbox, what it does, it filters out through all of Amazon. Now, this is not gonna be an in-depth Helium 10 tutorial. I'll make a Helium 10 Masterclass video later. This is more about finding and identifying opportunities. So what we're gonna do is quickly go through how I use Blackbox to do that. So first, I like to go to keywords. Keywords is my favorite starting point because, as you know now, the keyword, the search volume, is the foot traffic. This is what's telling you where the attention is, where is the hot locations, right? A high keyword search is an indicator of a hot location. So we can put our search volume from 10,000 to 50,000. We can say monthly revenue at least 5,000, price 30 to 60 so that, you know, we have a profit margin. Minimum review count, or max out the review count at 300. And the reason we use reviews is to show competition, because if a product has a bunch of reviews, right, like this protein powder has 49,000 reviews. If I was to launch a product and it has 0 reviews, which one are you more likely to buy? The one with more social proof, right? So the lower reviews that our competitors have, the less competitive it will be for us to compete against them. So that's why we do that. Review rating, 4.5. So this is the star rating on Amazon, right here. So it's a 4.6 out of 5. The lower the review rating, the more opportunity for us to improve the product. Because if they have bad reviews, maybe we can do something better to make the reviews better, right? Make the product better. Minimum word count, I like to say at least 2, and this is for intent. If someone just searches powder, we don't know what they're looking for, right? They might be looking for baby powder, protein powder, any kind of powder. But with a minimum word count of 2, that means it's 2 words, right? Protein powder. There's a little bit more specificity, what the fuck is the word? The search is more specific, so we know that they're looking for our actual product, okay? Then finally, don't forget here, categories. You don't want to search every category on Amazon. We know we picked 3 categories that we are personally interested in because we are the persona, right? So let's go with office products, and now we can click search. What Blackbox is doing, it's going through Amazon's entire database and finding products that match our specific criteria. And we only found 1, so we had a very narrow criteria, but let's check it out. So here is a trifold poster board. At this point now, guys, I'm gonna give you the 6 P's to a profitable product. This is a checklist that I use when looking for products to make sure it's gonna be a winner. Number 1, we have popularity. Next is power play, then the persona, then profit, then practicality, and powerhouse. Now, if you join my Discord community, completely free community, in the link in the description, you can get this checklist there for free, or you can just write it down right now as I just explained it to you. So first thing we're gonna check is popularity. So again, we're gonna open up Helium 10. We're gonna click the X-ray button, and it's gonna give us our popularity, which you know by now is the foot traffic, the search volume. So we got 20,000 searches, and you might be wondering what is good for search volume, right? Now, it depends on what your product is, what your goals are. But I like to say at least 10,000 to 20,000 for an entire market is great. Now, what do I mean by market? Well, I wanna show you this trifold poster board. This has 20,000 searches. But if we say trifold poster, it's basically the same product, right? But this only has 995 searches. So the key to know here is that there are multiple ways, multiple keywords that people use to search for the same product. So all of those keywords combined, you want at least 10 to 20,000 is a good place to be at for your product. Now you might be wondering, well, how do I find out all the different variations of keywords? What you can do, you click this little box and you hit run keyword search. Now what Helium 10 is doing, it's opening a tool called Cerebro. Now Cerebro is doing exactly what we need it to do. It's looking at this product and seeing what are all the related keywords for the product. So here we have cardboard display board, cardboard poster board, presentation board, health fair display, right? Trifold poster boards with an S. And here you have all the search volume. So this is where you're gonna look at the ones that are relevant. And when I say relevant, I mean, if we scroll through here, you're probably gonna see ones that aren't exactly super relevant to this product. So Paycon presentation board, that might be a brand. Penny board poster, right? Foam board, these are not exactly relevant to the product. So your job is to go through here and look at the popularity, meaning how many total searches are there in this market. Once we find out, okay, it has enough popularity, it has enough search and foot traffic, we need to find out what are the offerings, right? Remember the equation. It's just where are people going and is it what they're looking for being served to them, right? Is there any water for the gazelles to drink? And in this case, the water would be these poster boards. So when we scroll through this market, right, or this location, what I'm seeing here is that there's actually seems to be decent opportunity in the fact that most of these listings, I would deem them to be not very good. So this top one right here, they show this girl more than they show the actual product. This image is not that nice. This is not a totally different thing. This seems like it's a different thing. This is a different thing. This is a 3D, I don't know, like a 3D rendered image. It's not even a real picture. It's not a real picture. So there's a lot of different products here and not very good listings, right? So these images like this one here are pretty bad for this market. So next thing you want to do is check the reviews, right? Because the reviews, like I said, it gives you a glimpse of the competition. So we use X right here and we scroll to the right and you're going to see review count, right? So I like to say anything below 250 really, if a market average reviews, it's like 200 or less, it gives you a good opportunity to get in there. So you're always gonna have some outliers. So it seems like this one right here is the most reviewed, like 250, or this one here, actually 2,000 reviews for this one. They're selling a 4-pack. And then all these reviews here kind of drop pretty low. So this is a pretty good competition level that you could get in and sell your product. Now, the big thing that's gonna decide whether you can compete against these guys or not is what is your differentiation, right? What is the big thing in the 6P checklist called the power play? What are you gonna do to stand out? Now, this is something that we would need a little bit more time to figure out and flesh out by doing some more research. But I'll share with you really quickly what I call my power play pyramid. This is how I make differentiations in products. So number one is visual. Does it look different, right? What's the shape? What's the color? What's the material? Next is the value. So price, right? Price to quantity. Can you give them more, seem like it's more for less? Value and price doesn't mean you have to be the cheapest, but you could seem like the best value by adding more to your product, meaning a bundle, right? So a good example would be this right here. This is probably why they have the most sales, because they're getting 4 for 1. It's not necessarily that they're the cheapest one, but they seem like the best bang for your buck. Next is the function. So can you add different features, right? Can you fix flaws, things that are broken, change the size, change the capacity? And all of this revolves around positioning, meaning who are you targeting? Who is your persona, right? Is it specifically for a student like this, seems like a middle school student, or is it for someone doing a science fair? This all comes down to the persona and how you position the product. Again, a little bit out of the scope of this video, but feel free to use this power play pyramid when doing product research to give you a reference point of where you can look at making a difference. So the last thing I'm really gonna dive into before adding it to my product list, and my product list is just a list of products that I think have potential. This is then going to be verified a little bit deeper, but going on the list means, okay, it's out of mind, it passed my first few checks, and now I can start looking for different products. The last thing I'm gonna look at before adding it to that list is profitability, right? Is it going to be profitable to sell? Which of course is a very key thing. That's the reason you're getting into this game. So what I like to do is first we need to find out how much is it gonna cost to produce. And to do that, we can go ahead and use X-Ray again and look it up on Alibaba. So you can see here, find suppliers on Alibaba. If you don't know, Alibaba is a website that connects us to manufacturers and suppliers in China. This is where we're going to produce our products. So what I'm doing here is I'm gonna look for a closest match to the product so I can get an estimate. Keep in mind, this 8 cents to 20 cents is typically a clickbait kind of pricing. When you start talking to them, the prices will be different. But right now, we're just trying to find a ballpark. So I'm just gonna scroll through until I find something that seems like, so this one seems like kind of like our product. So I didn't find anything here, so I'm gonna click this view more on Alibaba. It's gonna open up the website for us. I actually can't find anything quite like that product, but I'm gonna say like this one here is kind of similar. This is $1.29, and then from this big thing is $10. So we're just gonna put it in the middle and say it's gonna be about $5 to produce, just for this example, okay? So now we're gonna go in and click on one of these, and when we scroll down from the listing, you're gonna see this big thing from Helium 10 once you have it installed, and you have your profitability calculator. Once you click on that, then this is where we get our profit. So we can see the cost is gonna be about $5, right? We're gonna sell it for $25.99, the same as what this guy's selling it for. We might bump our shipping up a little bit just to overestimate that to make sure we don't get surprised by shipping, especially with today's shipping rates. So we did that, $5, manufacturing cost of $5.20, a little bit more. And we'll see here that our profit, we can even say time and storage about 3 months. Our profit margin here is about 13%. So we're going to make $3 per unit. And at this price, I would say it is not a product that would go on my list. However, say you make a differentiation and we're gonna say sell this for $35. Now you're making a 31% margin, still probably would not add this to my list, to be honest. What I like to shoot for is about a 50% margin on this front end calculation, because once you do a deeper dive calculation, there's different expenses and different costs you're gonna pull out. So this is kind of a rough estimate calculator, and for this rough estimate calculator here, I like to get 50% margin. And then once that happens, then I'm gonna add it to my list. And finally, the last thing I wanna leave you with, which is the most important, is once you have your list built out, once you found products that have a lot of foot traffic, right? It's a good location and there's not many good offerings, and you find out that you can produce a product for this profitably. Okay, that's it, right? That's the recap. What you need to do next is really figure out that persona. I brought up persona earlier, but it really is the key. So even though we started with just our categories, right? We want to be our own persona. Once we find a more specific product, for example, these density cubes that I showed you, if this was the product, now you need to find out, okay, within this, who is the actual customer that I'm going to serve? And this is going to impact every decision you make throughout your brand, the words you use, the bullet points, the images, everything about the way you sell the product is gonna come down to the persona. Because remember, people don't buy good products, they buy products that are good for them. So the way we find out our persona is through Reddit. This is my favorite place to find personas because it's a social platform where people gather to follow things that they love, but unlike other social media networks, it's anonymous. So people aren't trying to put their best foot forward, right? They're just communicating in groups, they're posting replies and comments and things like that. And us as marketers and brand builders can go in and kind of see their entire digital footprint of the things they like, how much money they make. You'll be surprised at the kind of things you find on Reddit. So what you wanna do is grab the product. First thing you wanna do, grab your product and just search it on Reddit, see what comes up, right? And when I did this, I already did this in the past. When I did this, what I found was something crazy, a whole subreddit. If you're unfamiliar, a subreddit is basically like an online forum. It's a collection of people where they go to talk about a certain thing. There's an entire subreddit with 4,200 members that are fans of Element Collection, which is exactly what this product is, right? So it makes sense that the people that are following here and posting in here would be the ideal persona, right? If I could connect with all these people and sell a superior product to these, it makes sense to think that they would probably buy it, right? Because they're fans of that product. So we want to get into these people's heads and find out what drives them. Why do they like collecting elements? What else do they do? How much money do they have? Are they married? Are they single? And we can find that all out basically through going through the Reddit posts. And the way to do that is, okay, so this guy has his collection so far. We can click into his username, ham sandwich, and we can really look at, so he likes bacon or whatever this is, and we can really find out what is he all about, right? He follows Element Collection. Where else is he? So more about Element Collection. So that's basically his entire profile, but we can go back and look at other people's posts. So we can click on this guy, see what he's about, and a quick hack, we can see how long has he been on Reddit. So only 9 months, so it might not be that much. Sometimes you'll find people that have been on Reddit for literally years, right? So we can scroll through here and see what it's all about. And what you wanna do is eventually build out a persona like this. Now this is a fake persona I built out just for this density cube product. Again, the template for this persona build is inside the free Discord community below if you want to join. So what you're going to do first is go to bulk research. This is where we add all our Reddit profiles, right? So these are actual people that I investigated on Reddit. Okay, so this is kind of stuff. He's in the Philippines. This guy here, we kind of find out more about him, stuff he likes, different product ideas that he likes, right? This guy's into coding, Bitcoin. That's a big thing I saw. A lot of people that are collecting elements are also into tech, PCs, NFTs, and things like that. So with this information, I found out their fears, their problems, their desires, beliefs, their values. I found out where they're hanging out on Reddit, on different websites, right? Who do they follow on YouTube? And I built out this persona. And this persona is what you would use to market to the customer. And for an example of that, I found one of the top websites actually selling these elements. And to me, it looks like an old school, outdated, early 2000s kind of website targeted to an older demographic. But when doing this bulk research and finding out about our persona, I found out that most of the people that are collecting elements are younger guys, 27 years old, degree in computer engineering. Again, most of this is from Reddit, right? So when designing this brand out, I decided that we could go and target that younger audience by kind of making the website bolder, green, make it seem like something a little bit more modern, neon lights that appeals to his desires as opposed to something that's older looking and outdated like this. And that's just one example of how your persona can guide the direction of your brand. And that's why it's important. A very key important part of doing product research is actually more about persona research, finding out who the people are, and then step 2, finding out where they're going, right? The traffic, where's the foot traffic, what are they searching for? Then finally, once you find out those 2 things, you can find out what product to serve to them. Again, it's not about creating attention for your product, it's about finding attention and intercepting it with good offers. And that's my 7-figure blueprint for finding product opportunities and serving the right customer. If you want a deep dive into Helium 10, you can watch this video right here. And don't forget to join my free Discord community to communicate with me and get all the free resources I mentioned in this video.